Gonna continue with our Star Control 2. Where we left off, we got to Earth. Hi, H. Lalone. We got to Earth. We talked to Starbase Commander Hayes for a while. He has a lot of stuff to talk to about, so we left that and went and picked up some resources on the moon real quick. Maybe we'll talk to... Oh, there you are. That's a Bob Ross emote, I guess? Go and dump off the tiny bits of metal I got. And let's chat with him some more. About history. I think we've already talked to him about all of the other starfaring races stuff that there is to talk about. So let's ask about the war against the hierarchy. How did the war with the Ur-Quan start? Actually, is the game audio working? For some reason, my desktop audio is showing no activity. Let me check my stream real quick. For some reason, I think my desktop audio is not working. Yeah, I think the... Well, you got my voice, right, Rayburst? That's too bad. I was relying on Commander Hayes to read all the text. Why did this stop working? This was just working a moment ago. Okay, device. Should be the correct device. Let me open sound settings. I guess I'll change this to stereo. That. Oh wow, it's not even showing there at all. I may have to do something drastic here to get this working. Desktop audio. Yeah, something's very broken. Can I... Advanced audio properties. So why did this stop working? Let me exit out of this. And really quickly test some other audio source through here. If I can find one quickly. Yeah, now my desktop audio is not working at all. It was working when I tested it like 10 minutes ago. So that's pretty obnoxious. That does not seem to correct the problem like I was hoping. So what is the deal here? Try adding an additional audio source here for that. Turning the volume up won't help. It's showing no activity at all in the mixer. Tom audio 2. Device. Try capturing these. Does that give me anything? Doesn't look like it. That should work, and I don't know why it's not. But I also am not seeing where the desktop audio is being integrated in normally either. But it's showing me absolutely nothing here. Might have to restart my stream if this does not. Work here suddenly. Let me try this. But yeah, it's like my stereo mix is not functioning at all like it's supposed to be. I'm gonna have to try changing my sound output. I won't be able to hear if I do this. Yeah, okay. So it's capturing, it won't capture my, if I pipe my output through my speakers, but that means I'll get an echo through my microphone, which I don't want. Although it actually looks like it's filtering it out fairly well. Maybe it'll be alright. Not sure why that stopped working since it was working earlier. Oop, turn back around. Oh, and now my window is misaligned. All sorts of weird things are happening with my streaming setup today. And fonts just magically stop working. Fix this window real quick. This was centered earlier too. That's not real centered, but close enough for now.
Ah, Captain, I'm glad you're back.
Oh, and now both of these things are showing up here too. So, it's all weird. That might have been real loud briefly. I think it should be okay now though.
Light load this time, Captain. Certainly, Captain. What do you need to know?
Okay, let's
What
look at some
aspect
other
of history,
historical
Captain?
data.
What
about
about
the-
the war?
What happened
At the
during
start of the war, here on Earth, we were working like crazy, churning out hundreds of heavy cruisers and smaller support vehicles. The Ur-Quan were busy too. Unbeknownst to us, they had moved down towards the Luton Star Group and were attacking the Vucks, who only the Yehot knew existed. Our botched first contact with the Vucks took place in 2119, and it was the biggest single mistake we made during the war. After defeating the Vucks, the Ur-Quan fleets ran smack into the combined might of the Ahot and Shofixty, supported by the first wave of our cruisers.
Problem with this
Again, the
setup is I'll
Ur-Quan
get an
turned
echo
away
unless
from
I
the
have my
hard
microphone
spot to
muted.
attack the weak, though we just thought they were running away. In fact, the Ur-Quan had found another independent alien race, the Mycon, in the Brahe constellation. The Mycon's voluntary submission to the Ur-Quan brought the return of the Ur-Quan fleets, now swollen with 100 devastating Mycon pod ships. The last entrants to the conflict were the Cyrene, a race of space gypsies who had escaped the hierarchy by moving their vast fleet of slow-moving habitats into human space. With the side set, the last Ur-Quan offensive began.
Oops, I was almost trying to click on my stream there to get the thing to go.
The Ur-Quan came roaring through Vux space and tried to push past the India and Mira star systems. Their onslaught was barely repulsed, and our counterattack made hardly a dent in the hierarchy forces, but we held the line. The Corward front remained intact. Over the following 10 years, there were many great battles between the combined Alliance Starfleet and the Ur-Quan and their hierarchy of battle thralls. Then in 2134, a dramatic shift in the balance of power took place. This must have been about the time the science research mission was sent to the planet of Vela. Our fleets were pushed back from the Indy-Mira line beyond Raynet. Holding Rigel caused grievously in Chenjesu forces, and the Ur-Quan, recognizing this weakness, shifted to focus the brunt of their forces on Procyon. That was the last we heard from the Chenjesu and the Melnorme. A few weeks later, waves of ships hit us from all directions. When Ceres Station, our outpost on the asteroid belt, fell to the hierarchy, we knew we were beaten, but we fought on anyway. 3 days later, the Ur-Quan vaporized our last remaining laser forts on the moon, and the dreadnoughts took up geosynchronous position above Rome, Moscow, Beijing, Tokyo, London, Buenos Aires, and Washington. We'd lost the war, and we knew it. But the Ur-Quan decided to make it real clear. And that's why if you check any of our most recent maps, you won't find Buenos Aires.
Update my topic message there real quick. Squad. Chroma Squad probably next.
After the UN submitted their formal surrender, we were given a week to decide the nature of our servitude. The Ur-Quan demanded that the decision be made through popular vote. When all the votes were tallied, Earth had chosen not to fight for the Ur-Quan. We had become a fallow slave world. We were given a month to withdraw all of our people and equipment to Earth. Anyone or anything left off-planet would be destroyed after the shield went up. Then the Ur-Quan broadcast an odd message. All objects of human construction more than 500 years old were to be abandoned. We didn't know what the Ur-Quan meant until they moved their dreadnoughts into new orbital positions and opened fire on the surface with their fusion weapons. In seconds, large sections of London, Paris, and other European cities were incinerated. At first, we thought they were going to annihilate us after all. And we noticed they were also striking such targets as the Giza Pyramids, the Parthenon in Athens, and Stonehenge. Curiously, the United States was almost untouched. The flaming rain lasted 40 hellish hours. It took days after we crawled from our smoldering shelters to realize what the Ur-Quan had done. Our new masters had targeted every building, monument, or other man-made construction older than 500 years and destroyed it. In those 2 days, we lost most of the history of mankind. In some cases, the Ur-Quan destroyed places we did not even suspect were significant. From their positions in orbit, the dreadnoughts blew away a kilometer of land in central Iraq, vaporized several targets in the Amazon rainforest, punched a big hole through the Antarctic ice cap to destroy something deep under the surface, and melted a broad swath of the ocean floor in the southeastern Atlantic. Then, just a couple of days later, the shield went up, and our contact with the outside world stopped. The next time I saw the stars was 8 years ago, when I was transferred up here to be the new commander of this starbase.
Atlantis. Sounds like it was one of those things.
Would you like any information on any other aspect of history?
So amongst some of that, I got some different locations where some of the different races might be found.
We have some data on this subject, What do you want to know about?
Ancient history.
Hell, you probably know more about them than I do, but here goes.
Precursors.
About 200,000 years ago, when our great to the nth grandparents were just starting to play with stone knives and bearskins, a star-faring species suddenly appeared on the galactic scene and spread like wildfire. We found evidence of their presence just about everywhere, from an orbital platform on Alpha Centauri to a stack of data plates in a cave on Pluto to some nameless widget found in a voodoo shop in New Orleans. Though we never found a precursor body or even a picture of one, we can conjecture what they look like by examining the scale and layout of their equipment. Such an analysis indicates they were giants, say 5 to 8 meters tall and twice as wide. I don't know if they looked more like a brontosaur or an elephant. Anyway, about 3,000 years after the precursors made their dramatic appearance, they vanished. Poof! As far as we can tell, it took less than a decade to happen.
H. Lalone probably is hoping they look more like elephants.
You mean besides the
What other races
precursors?
from the ancient past?
Well, the only information we have is secondhand based on some research by a Chenzesu historian that I read at the Academy. Zensert-Sek, the historian, found some evidence that there was a group of alien races who formed an interstellar empire not too far from here about 22,000 years ago. The only species in this empire actually lived in our region of space was a race of rock-like creatures who lived in the Vulpeculae constellation. The presence of the hostile androsynth in that part of space severely limited Zensert-Sek's research. He never even found out the race's name.
Ancient rock-like race in Vulpeculae. Oop.
Yes,
Still
there
used to
is.
hit
Aside
spacebar
from the
Starflight.
precursor relics we have found on Earth, often in museums mislabeled as modern art, we've discovered disturbing evidence of much more recent visitations. Perhaps you're already aware that during the mid to late 20th century, there were unaccountable UFO sightings as well as dozens of reported encounters with alien life forms. Although we can discount many of the reports as wishful fabrication or traumatic translation, the military authorities of the time kept a secret record of the incidents which were legitimate. In each such case, the aliens are almost identical in appearance. They have white skin and minimal facial features except for huge almond-shaped eyes, which are often described as glowing or luminescent. This description fits almost perfectly the Arielu Lalile. In most of the legitimate encounters, the people involved describe being physically examined or modified by the aliens. In some cases, unusual pregnancies occurred, and in almost every instance, there were repeat visitations as though the Arielu Lalile were doing checkups on their subjects. We never got the chance to confront the Arielu Lalile about what they did to us and why. I wonder if we ever will.
Yep. Well, we'll probably ask them when we get around to it. This is fascinating, but I must move on. Ah, spacebar again.
Would you like information on any other aspect of history? Sure.
That's enough
Anything
about
else?
history.
Fine. Is there anything else you need?
That's enough from him for now.
Try to
For
avoid
a
getting
while,
gruesomely
probably,
killed, Captain.
till he has some news for us. So I need to gather some resources, so we'll probably just explore our solar system because it's fuel efficient to do that. There should be more stuff on Mercury, although Mercury is a little bit hazardous. Whoops. Ah, my turning speed is still awful. Definitely want some ship upgrades. Mercury. Oh yeah, there's still a lot of stuff here, and the gravity on Mercury isn't real high, so it's not... doesn't cost too much for me to land. About 7/10 of a fuel unit. Though even so, I'm gonna have to buy more fuel relatively soon here. Got earthquakes, got firestorms. a lot more, the hazards are a lot more obviously visible than they were in Starflight, where you mostly just had, well, the creatures were visible, but most of the environmental hazard was just the weather. Unless you accidentally landed on a ship with gravity that would just crush your ship. That wouldn't be good, but... Looks like I only got a little bit more to grab here on Mercury. Oof. I got 3 little firestorms that almost hit me. But managed to get out of there with no casualties, so not too bad. I'll check Venus, but I probably don't want to land on Venus. I'm sure it's gonna have real bad, I'm sure Venus has real bad weather. And lightning is a bigger problem than most of the other... Just like in Starflight, actually. Lightning is the big problem in this, because you can't dodge it, and it can do a lot of damage. Scan. Weather, Class 8. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not landing on Venus for that little bit of not very valuable resources with Class 8 weather. It's a good way to get all my people electrocuted and probably blow up my lander. I'll just pop back at the starbase and upgrade my turning jets and thrusters a little, so that I don't keep missing things so much. Oh, whoops. First, I gotta talk to the commander to offload my
Captain.
stuff.
Another small load, Captain. Well, I suppose something is better than nothing.
I need to buy a little fuel anyway, because it does cost me fuel every time I land.
We shall await your return, Captain.
And you don't have very much when you arrive at Earth. Outfit ship. Go ahead and get up to 20 fuel and add 1 more turning jet. Save, and let's move out. So another question is, where did all the ships that were on the moon go? Is there supposed to be a bunch of Spathi and Ilwrath here? They're not at the moon, but are they still hanging around somewhere? I would have expected Mars to have a moon in here. Guess not. Oop, I hit spacebar again. Stop that. So it took me a while to unlearn hitting enter and hit spacebar instead for Starflight, and now I'm having to unlearn it the other way. A lot of little tiny deposits here on Mars. Not even sure if it's worth getting those last 2. I'll just scoop up this last little bit and then check the next planet. Yoink. This fuel is a lot like in Starflight. Fuel is kind of one of your biggest expenses. Maybe not quite as bad as Starflight in terms of its cost, but unlike Starflight, you can't just find fuel everywhere. Oop. I don't want to go to Saturn, I want to go to Jupiter. You can't... it's hard for me to actually see the orbit lines on my screen because I got a lot of glare, and my brightness is set kind of incorrectly for it. Unless I try to... I guess I could try to steer from the other view. My other monitor here is a little bit easier for me to read. So Jupiter. Jupiter is a gas giant, so we know we can't land there. Io. Io has bad tectonics, so I gotta watch out for earthquakes, but it's got quite a bit of these noble elements? Guess we'll see. Or are those radioactives? Radium. Oh, this is all radioactives. Radioactives are pretty valuable, so I should scoop those up while I can. Gravity here is low, so as long as I don't run into any of those earthquakes, gathering these up is very efficient. Moving the crosshair feels so slow. Oh. So I only have about a half a load from this last trip. Oh, nope, that last batch was pretty good, so. That should give me a bunch more thrusters. I think. Europa. Not too much that looks good on here. Some radioactives, maybe. And I keep forgetting if the dark red are noble elements. I don't think so. I'll just scoop some up and see. Bromine. Bromine. Not sure, actually, what the red ones are supposed to be, but the dark red ones. Guess all of the ones on Europa are bromine. And I want to turn the volume up, but I'm afraid it'll echo through my microphone, since I couldn't get the capture to work correctly. It'd probably work if I just restarted OBS, but that would kill the stream, and I don't want to do that. Turn around. This looks like mostly junk. No life in the solar system except on Earth, apparently. Cyanoacetylene? Cyanoacetylene and cyanoacetylene. I don't think that's really worth anything. But the fuel used to land here is so low, I may as well grab stuff. 0.3 fuel units. That's like 30% of 20 resource units. Should be like 6 or something. Oops, not dispatch. All of that's definitely worth more than that. Just if once I'm out of soul, it's probably not worth hanging on to that because I'll have limited storage capacity. Oh, did I already go to Callisto? I guess so. Or it's empty. One of the two. Now we can go to Saturn. Whee! A little easier to maneuver with the extra turning jet. Saturn's moon, Titan. Which has bad weather. I'm not gonna mess with the bad weather. Lightning scares me. Scary lightning is scary. Well, here's Neptune. I should really look at this screen. My background is too bright over here with the blinds up. Okay, Triton looks relatively safe to land on, so we'll set down here. Sorry if the starting bit is a bit boring, but should be a little more interesting as soon as we clean up these last couple solar system planets. Whoops, missed. Oh, this planet is got hardly anything on it. Arsenic, woo. That was real exciting. Whoa, going the wrong way. There we go. Come on, back up. Oh, and no moons here. So, off to Pluto. Last one. This was before Pluto stopped being a planet and then became a planet again. This game was made. Ooh, purple. Oh, and there's something on the energy scan. So we got this purple dealie, which is like exotic materials or something like that. 5 Zo crystals. And what looks a lot like a Spathy eluder. Mayday from surface. We have come under fire from an alien vessel we found hiding on the surface of Pluto. Captain, they killed Kowalski, Fritz, Chin, O'Donnell, Luigi, and all 3 of the Lieberman triplets. We have returned fire, but our stunner can't penetrate the ship's whole armor. More. We are initiating emergency launch procedures. End of transmission.
Attention, a big, mean, hostile alien vessel hovering overhead in an obvious attack posture. This is Spotty Captain Fwiffo. I know you are going to torture me, so let's just get this over with right now. The coordinates of my homeworld, Spatiwa, are 241.6 by 368.7, and the ultra-secret Spatty Cipher, which is known only by me and several billion other Spatty, is Huffy, Muffy, Duffy. Sorry about that little mistake with your landing vehicle. I was so startled when it approached my vessel in a threatening manner that my automated defense systems fired on it when it got too close. I hope nobody got hurt.
The spots here are pretty great. Attention alien vessel, identify yourself, be destroyed. Hi there, friend, we come in peace and mean you no harm. Don't kill us! You attacked our lander, killed our crew, prepare to die. I think the response to "Hi there, friend, we come in peace and mean you no harm" is funny, so I'm gonna pick that.
Are you sure? Because your statement is often just a more polite way of saying, "Attention, alien vessel, identify yourself or be destroyed."
Yep.
In any event, I am Spotty Captain Fwiffo of the void ship Star Runner, based here in this planetary system as part of the powerful Earth-powered Star Force, which our master, the Ur-Quan, established here to make sure the Earthlings don't do anything tricky.
What are you doing here on Pluto?
About 20 years ago, this region of space was dominated by a loose confederation known as the Alliance of Free Stars, which was composed of the aliens native to these parts who did not want to be enslaved. They made a valiant effort against the superior Ur-Quan forces. It even looked like they might miraculously defeat the combined Ur-Quan armada, right up to the point at which the Ur-Quan totally defeated, indeed annihilated them.
So what are you doing here on Pluto?
When the Ur-Quan armada entered the system to subjugate formerly the Earthlings, the Ur-Quan presented the humans with the standard slave options. Join the hierarchy as combat roles and retain some autonomy, including the right to travel through space, or become a fellow species and return to pre-atomic savagery on the surface of their homeworld, encased for all time beneath an impenetrable force shield. The humans chose the latter option, and so were swiftly imprisoned on the surface of Earth. But the Ur-Quan didn't trust them to obey the restrictions, so they chose a small group of hierarchy combat starships from the Ilwrath and Spartan fleets to create the so-called Earth Guard and station them at a base on Earth's moon.
Tell me what you were doing on Pluto now.
Originally, we were stationed on Earth's moon, which made us spotty a bit uneasy because with each passing day we grew more and more worried about the sneaky Earthlings making a surprise attack. So the Ilwrath kept telling us that it was impossible since the Earthlings had no ships or weapons whatsoever. That made us feel a bit better, but when the Ilwrath left, again we grew fearful and decided to make a strategic redeployment to Mars. Later on we decided it would be prudent to relocate to Jupiter's moon, Ganymede, then later Saturn's moon, Titan, and finally here to Pluto.
See, what happened to the Ilwrath stationed in this system?
The Ilwrath contingent were supposed to be the toughest ridge crest, the most rigid flipper, yes, the backbone of the Earth Guard force. But they departed the system en masse not long after the last Ur-Quan dreadnought vanished from this region of space. They claimed to have received a direct order from their gods of evil and darkness, who had grown dissatisfied with the Ilwrath's passivity and wanted them to kill, or at least torture someone soon. Personally, I believe they just got bored and went up to have some fun.
When do you expect the Ilwrath to return?
Well, when they were pushing up into hyperspace 18 years ago, we asked them that very question, and I think they said something to the effect of, "Real soon."
The spothy imitation of the Ilwrath voice, I really like too. So what is happening at the base on Luna then?
We decided that if the Earthlings figured out we had abandoned the base on Luna, they would be more likely to try something sneaky. So, we rigged up...
Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to skip that.
Called it...
But I just wanted to remind whoever's watching that in the last session, the Starbase commander asked us to take care of the lunar base that supposedly the Spothy and Ilwrath had dozens of ships at, and we found it was like automated broadcasting a signal which our away team thought was probably a mayday, like their hyperwave transmitter was just locked in broadcast. And no one on the space station had figured it out that there weren't actually tons of ships there doing that. But...
So, we rigged up some... They would be more likely to try something sneaky. So, we rigged up some old service androids and ordered them to drive around on the lunar surface in bulldozers, endlessly pushing around the same piles of dirt. In addition, we connected the base's local radio transmitter to an audio Melnorme fun rum called Winky's Happy Night, hoping they would think we were still there.
And the whole time it was just like a TV recording that they were playing over and over. No one figured that out. So what happened to the other Spothy ships?
Over the past years, it became necessary to redeploy strategically some of our Earth-Guard forces to our homeworld in case of a sudden surprise attack by a vicious, unrelenting alien race which we Spotty call the Ultimate Evil!
So how many crew do you have on board?
Dozens, that is to say scores and perhaps even hundreds of my brethren stride through the corridors of this specially modified, super-efficient, mass-destruction-oriented starship, which could lay siege to an entire planetary system should we choose to do so, which, fortunately for you, we have decided not to do today.
Hundreds? Come on.
I am undone. You are far too clever for a poor Spotty like me, and now I must submit to your superior alien intellect. I guess I am not revealing any truly important secrets if I tell you that each of my species' Illuder-class void ships typically holds 30 spotted crewmen, though at present my vessel, the Star Runner, is not up to full complement due to the needs of my homeworld in their resistance against the ultimate evil. And in fact, my vessel is somewhat understaffed right now, seeing as how I am the only spotter on board, which is a bit frightening, as I am sure you can understand.
The galaxy teems with threatening monsters. Are you happy here? Alone and vulnerable?
How true, Captain, how true! In truth, just between us, during the past 7 years, I have been quite ill at ease, and yet now I find myself enjoying your company. This witty dialogue, and the presence of your huge, powerful, death-dealing starship, which, being my friend, you would certainly feel compelled to use in order to save me from any hostile life forms who threatened me with death.
Actually, I'm going to be using his starship to save me from most of the hostile life forms in this game, most likely, so... The Spathy Eluder is really good against an awful lot of things that want to kill you in this game. Who or what is this ultimate evil?
As yet, the ultimate evil remains largely unmanifest, and its powers and exact intentions are still a bit obscure, since it lurks just outside the range of even the most sensitive long-range detectors, which we feel gives conclusive evidence as to the ultimate evil's nefarious intent.
Why are you still here, Captain Fwiffo?
Since it was our most powerful and unforgiving master, the Ur-Quan, who stationed us here, we knew it would be grossly stupid to disobey them completely, but we decided it would be okay to send just one ship home. We used one of our most ancient and solemn rituals, Ur-Taffy, to pick the lucky ship. Then, some months later, we decided that it wouldn't really hurt if we sent one more ship home. And then later we sent another, and then another. Well, you get the idea. Alas, as fate would have it, when the final ritual was performed, I, Fwiffo, was left here alone. For, as even the most immature in wrestling knows, there must always be one spotter who puts the short top first.
So where are the Ur-Quan now? That's probably important to know.
Our masters don't really keep us very well informed about their goings-on, so that all we know is that immediately after the subjugation of the last Alliance race, the Hut, I think, the Ur-Quan gathered their dreadnoughts and departed for the edge of the galaxy, commanding us to obey the slave laws or face their wrath when they returned.
The edge of the galaxy. Not exactly sure what that means. We are pretty close to the edgemost of the galaxy, I think, on our star map, because we're on like this corner of our star map, and the core direction is supposed to be that way. So I'm not really sure if they're around. There's not much room for them to be that way. Do you know anything about other alien races?
We only know bits and pieces of what happened to each race. For instance, when defeated, the Yahat joined the hierarchy as combat thralls, while the Cyrene chose to be slave-shielded on a planet in the Bug-Squirt star system. No, that's not right. I forget its name. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, the Shafixti. They were utterly wiped out in a gigantic blaze of glory.
What do you mean, blaze of glory? What happened to the Shofixti?
The Shofixti were half feral, as you know, having been uplifted by the Yahat just a few decades before the start of the war. Given their habit of detonating those suicidal so-called glory devices in combat, it came as no particular surprise to me when, upon the arrival of the Ur-Quan Primary Task Force at their homeworld, the Shofixti caused their sun to explode in a colossal supernova, destroying the entire planetary system, and not incidentally dozens of Ur-Quan dreadnoughts.
I like his laugh too. So what about yourself, Fwiffo?
Me? You mean me, personally? Well, nice of you to ask. I was born a poor green incrusting, the youngest child of a family of 18,487.
We're not gonna have
My
that.
male parents had to work hard to support us, very hard. But each of my brothers and sisters and I tried to help out to make ends meet.
I like Fwiffo
The
too.
parent was kind and sweet to all of us. Why, she once even called me by name. She said, Fwiffo, Fwiffo, would you please answer the door? I want someone's dinner. What a treat, a golden memory. I swiftly matured into a fine example of my species with my parents' assistance. Achieved independence. Specifically, they pried me from the door jamb and rolled me into the street. Thus prepared, I set out to make my fortune. I had great dreams in those days. Yes, great dreams. I knew that someday I would be vastly rich, wealthy enough to afford a large, well-fortified mansion. Surrounding my mansion would be vast tracts of land, through which I could slide at any time I wished. Of course, one can never be too sure that there aren't monsters hiding just behind the next bush. So I would plant trees to climb at regular, easy-to-reach intervals. And being a spotty of the world, I would know that some monsters climb trees, though often not well. So I would have my servants place in each tree a basket of perfect stones. Not too heavy, not too light, just the right size for throwing at monsters. I was thinking about what color the stones would be painted. Aqua, mauve, or magenta, when a vegetable cart came careening down the street outside my house and knocked me unconscious. When I awoke, I was aboard the void ship Star Runner headed for Earth. Apparently, I had been out of my head for quite some time after the accident, and with the assistance of some kind strangers, had been relieved of my funds and convinced to join the Navy, where I have been unpleasantly employed for the last 25 years.
Shanghaied, I guess. I'm sure you'd feel a lot safer if you were with us. Come on, Fwiffo, join our fleet.
Happy days and jubilation! I discard all prejudice and hesitations and accept and celebrate your offer of protection and your undying commitment to my well-being. I must wax melancholy for just a moment, though, and make sure you understand that any other spotty ships we meet at large in the galaxy are not going to be quite so responsive to your friendly gestures as myself, since they bear more heavily the yoke of Ur-Quan enslavement and are also apt to talk themselves out of allying with a totally unknown alien, which I, having been left here alone, cannot do. Welcome me aboard, Captain.
And now I have another ship. And although the other Spathi probably won't be as friendly, they still are seem unlikely to want to pick a fight with me. I have coordinates for their homeworld, so I could go visit there. I've also got the coordinates of a whole bunch of other things. Or the names of a whole bunch of other things, what constellations they're in, which I can probably bring up on the star map. And it looks like it's just about time for us to leave the Sol system.
Ah, Captain, I'm glad you're back.
First, let's get some... offload our minerals.
Not a bad job, Captain. Farewell, Captain.
So I need fuel and... crew. Go ahead and fill our tank up. And fill our crew up. For our flagship and for our new Spothy Eluder. That'll do. And our Earthling cruiser is also full. Save there. And then we just need to... probably for now, just get a little more speed. Though I also probably want more storage capacity, but for now we're just going to go on a shorter trip, so we'll take more speed first. Depart, and let's look at our star map. Alright, so Spothy space up here. Do I have a mouse pointer? Is it capturing my mouse pointer? Oh, it is, so yeah. So Spothy space up here, Ilwrath space down here. I think I can zoom this in somehow. Maybe? Maybe not? Oh, and it shows me how much fuel it'll take to get anywhere. So Ilwrath is over here. Probably want to avoid them. Oh, and if I set the crosshair directly on something, then I get the name of the constellation. So Kaylee, Ptolemy, these are not see, Deneb, none of these names ring a bell from any of the... Epsilon Gorno. So Delta Gorno is where the Spathy apparently came from. Or not Spathy, the Shofixty. But according to Fwiffo, they wiped themselves out, so they might not be very Beetlejuice. Don't know anything about that, unless it's Bugsquirt. Beta Wolf. Alpha Wolf, I guess. Sirius is nearby. I know there's... plus and minus on the numpad. Let's zoom in. There we go. Not sure what that blue line is. Maybe Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Like, if I plot a course here... Okay, so, like, I can plot a course to Sirius or Canopus. And it'll... Not sure if that does autopilot or what, but... Given our limited amount of fuel, I think I'm just going to check out the couple nearest stars. See what I can come up with. What is over here where these Ilwrath are? It's probably Volantis... Procyon, so that might be the Chenjesu home world. Based on notes that I've got. Gamma Olblur, I don't think I've heard any of that yet. Bakaya. Delta Kruger. And Jickless. We did hear about a race in the Jickless constellation, so that's probably something we should check out if we can go around Ilwrath space. Commander Hayes, when I asked him about other races, he said there's something Jickless space near something near Procyon, and for some reason I typoed it, but somewhere near Draconis. I'm not sure where the Draconis constellation is. Whoops. No. I'm moving around my entire everything here. Okay, that's fixed. Okay. I'm not sure where the Draconis constellation is, though. Beta Caeli. I should maybe bring up one of the map that came with it, just so that I can locate the constellations. That's really all that's on the starting map. Is Vulpeculae. There was another thing, too. I think. Oh, an ancient rock-like race came from around Vulpeculae. Alright. But first, let's just check out our little local area here, just like we did in Starflight 1. Kind of. Although, at least in this game, we don't have the issue of having to get a more efficient engine. Our engine, I think, is just as efficient as it's gonna get, no matter how far we want to go. It's gonna take the same amount of fuel as it will later in the game. This music I really like, but I can barely hear it because I have to keep my volume low so I don't get an echo through the headphones with the problem that I was having. Okay, only one planet here, and it's hot. From the color of the orbit lines, you get a general... Oh, you like Fwiffo too, Rayburst? Yes. Fwiffo and the other Spathy are pretty entertaining. Though a lot of the races are. Let's see. Tectonics class 6, temperature 1000 degrees. It's full of green stuff. What's green stuff worth? Green stuff is valuable. Rare earth elements. Oh, I see. The dark red stuff was corrosive. The light blue stuff was common. So, like, dark blue, green, gold, orange, and pink stuff is the really valuable stuff. I kind of don't want to land here because it looks really hazardous. Also takes a full fuel unit to land here. The stuff here is valuable, but yeah, this lanthanide world looks too dangerous. So let's try a different place. Forget Sirius. Let's try a colder looking star, like Alpha Lyrae. Oh, it says autopilot at the top of my screen. Maybe if I'm hands off, it'll fly there for me. Gather resources nearby. While it's doing that for me, I can change my goals and stuff. Okay, this looks cooler at least. We have a couple of blue planets. A couple of little tiny blue planets, but flew too far. What do we got here? An ultramarine world. Still has bad weather though, but the temperature is lower. I'm gonna go ahead and land here just to, it does have the green stuff on it too, which should be valuable. And I hope that I don't get lightning bolted too much. Grab some of this. Ow, ow. I killed 2 people. Resources wise, I guess that was worth it, but I would really prefer to not lose people just to stray lightning bolts. Maybe the other planet will be safer and less, well, safer and still lucrative? Safer and more lucrative? Maybe? Noble world. Tectonics, but no weather because there's no atmosphere. And it's full of noble gases, which are less valuable than those, whatever those green things were, but not bad. Radon. Xenon. Of course, I'm only going to get not much of a load of this either. Neon, Krypton, Radon. Wasn't looking, didn't see what I got there. And more neon. Well, that was not really worth doing much. Shouldn't have taken much fuel to land on, though. The gravity there is very low. Well, let's drop down to here. Beta Lyrae. March 29th, 2155. Slowly turn. Oh, we got a few planets here. Near Chile. Beta Lyrae, Planet 5. Ooh, it's a ruby world. These things are good. with exotic materials. Eight neutronium. 10 more neutronium. 6 more neutronium. They're pretty too. And 10 more neutronium. Even 1 neutronium is more than enough for 1 fuel unit, so that by itself makes visiting this system worth it. So we'll go from the outside in on this system. It would probably be faster to go left to right, but bullseye. And what have we here? A super dense world. Okay, this one is scarier because it has bad tectonics. And it doesn't have much of value on it, so we're gonna ignore that one. Suddenly itchy. Oh, we got a gas giant with some orbiting planets. Or orbiting moons, rather. A purple world. Which is literally called a purple world. Not very valuable stuff, but low gravity. Fuel use for landing is not high. Our ship is pretty empty right now. Maybe getting towards about 1/4 full. Rhenium, cadmium, and cadmium. Suppose that orange world could be full of radioactives, but it could also just be junk too. Or planet. No, not world, not planet. Moon. I guess moons are worlds too, though. They're just not planets. Another somewhat low value but safe place to gather some metals. Got some iron and aluminum. Calcium. Mostly I just want enough stuff to fill up my fuel tank, maybe get a little bit more cargo space and max out my thrusters so that I can go fast through hyperspace and also run away from things easily. Okay, this one has a little bit of slightly valuable stuff. It's a metal world, so it has a little bit of radioactives, it looks like, and whatever the gold stuff is that I forget. But it also has bad weather, and I like to avoid bad weather planets. Look at all these purple worlds. Are they all purple worlds, or are they some other things? Super dense world. Nothing interesting much there. Looks like I'm not going to find anything as good as the first world that I stopped at in this system. Chondrite world. Yeah, this just has junk on it. Dust world. That's actually not too bad. More than I'd expect from something called a dust world. It's at least got some metals on it. And doesn't seem to have bad weather or anything. Potassium. Bismuth. Although these metal deposits are minuscule. I suppose that makes sense if it's just like all where dust is collected. The aluminum deposit wasn't too bad, though. Bismuth and potassium. Oh, and that potassium deposit was... I got almost a full load there of my lander, anyway. Let's see, are we done here? Nope, one more to check. This green one. An iodine world with very high tectonics. And bad weather. Yeah, forget that. I don't need that much iodine. Head over to the Centauri constellation. Centauri. I think I like Centauri better, but I'll probably still say Centauri. Cruising through hyperspace. And this little dinky star has one cold planet and one that's more moderate. So these are more likely to have life forms, probably. But probably not this one at minus 173. Tectonics activity is real severe here, so I probably shouldn't land. Dropped 51 frames. There have been weird issues all day, I guess. Whoops! I missed. So I still don't know if my T-Mobile's service is working again yet. Cyanic world. That's probably just cyanide deposits. I don't really need those. They're worth very little. Probably not really worth the fuel of landing, and definitely not worth the cargo capacity. Ultraviolet world. So this has a lot of valuable stuff on it, but looks pretty dangerous. I'm gonna land on it anyway and see if I can grab some things before it beats me up too badly. I'm not seeing any lightning bolts, although I am starting to see a lot of earthquakes. One casualty there. It's not too bad. Gonna snag this here and that. Oh, now there's the lightning bolt showing up. Ah, didn't escape fast enough. Oh well, we'll call that good. That second trip probably wasn't worth it, but... So I also wasn't paying attention to the fuel cost of landing there, and it might have been a little higher than some of the other planets were, so it looks bigger. But I didn't look at the mass, and I didn't set my autopilot. Let's check out this big star. There's probably everything here is too hot for me to want to land, but we'll see. Yeah, it looks pretty hot. Let's try to check the outermost planet. See if it's not too crazy. Oh, and there's a ship moving around. So we'll go investigate that after I scan this thing. Cimmerian world. This one actually isn't terribly hot, 159, which is real hot, but it's not like ship melting hot, I don't think. Ooh, here's a ruby world. This one's 433, but it has huge exotic deposits, so I should probably try and get those if I possibly can. Even just like one at a time. Even with the 1.2 fuel use. Oh, this is a bad spot. Oh, I just barely didn't get hit by that. See, this is draining a lot of my fuel, but these exotics are worth so much. I don't know how I managed to not get hit there. It's not like I had enough speed or turning ability to really dodge. Just got real lucky, I think. I'm gonna save that. So that ship probably is around that large blue planet. Unless it's moved again, but I'm just gonna keep working my way inward. Because we've already found some good stuff here. Dust World. Nothing really good here, though. Maybe this purple moon is eclipsed by the planet enough to be cold? No, not at 1,322 degrees Celsius. It's a tad warm. Let's just go looking for that ship at this point. Well, it's not here. Hello, bright star. You are very big. Don't see it here. Not here. I'm just curious as to how hot this one is. Let's see. Oh, it looks like another ruby world. 658 degrees. That could actually still be worse. And again, with the very large exotic deposits. Just picking up 2 of those maxes out my lander. So I'm taking casualties doing this. Yikes, get off of there. I thought I hit escape. Be nice if it would land a little bit closer to where I target, but not getting quite that lucky. Okay. Call that good there. Still need to find that ship. And that was a little more painful, but oh well. Probably worth it. Oh, there it goes. Come back! Come back! Where are you going? What are you? Who are you? How did you get behind me?
I am Trade Master Greenish, in command of the Melnorme starship, inevitably successful in all circumstances. I bid you a formal welcome, Captain. Though we Melnorme have just recently arrived in this region of space, we have long desired to make contact with your species and look forward to an extended, profitable relationship.
So yeah, this is actually the ship that I named my Starflight ship after, the ISS Inevitable. Because there's no way that it would let me name something as long as the ISS Inevitably Successful in All Circumstances. We come in peace, representing the new alliance of free stars.
Even before our first meeting, we knew of you, Captain. Though your struggle to free Earth shall be a long and difficult challenge, fraught with great danger and mystery, we have great confidence in you and your abilities.
How did you know about us before meeting us?
We gather information from 1,000 secret sources in space and time. Our charge for revealing even one of these sources would be so high that your species would be in debt to us for centuries.
What can you tell us about yourselves?
Our origins and purposes are, frankly, mysterious, and due to several unavoidable factors, we are unable to discuss ourselves in any great detail.
What are these unavoidable factors?
First and foremost among these factors is our unwillingness to give away information about our history, psychology, and mental powers, our unique physiology, the exact locations of homeworlds, or our potentially ominous long-range plans. However, these important and relevant pieces of information are available for a nominal sum of credits.
I don't know that you can buy their, the information about their potentially ominous long-range plans, but do you have any information which might be useful to us?
Absolutely. Our primary trade good is information. Why, right here on my display screen, I have something which I am certain would be of incalculable value to you. We can discuss the details of this very significant information later, when we have established normal trading procedures, at which time we shall also discuss the nature of our fees.
Shall we begin trading now?
Yes, let us get down to business. Since this is your first time trading with us, let me explain how our system works. We are interested in purchasing certain items, specifically biological data on alien life forms, and the coordinates of certain strange worlds whose radiant energies defy all scanners, producing a rainbow-like image. In exchange, we have many interesting and valuable commodities, such as fuel, compatible with your starship's hyperdrive thrusters, technological specifications, allowing you to build new devices for your ship, and many important secrets which may help you in your travels. To facilitate trade, we translate all your sales into interstar credits, with which you may make purchases. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Now, what can we do for you today?
Why did your bridge turn purple?
That's a good question, with a very interesting answer. The fee for this information is 12 million credits.
I believe in the original version of this it was 12,000 credits, but it was actually possible to get 12,000 credits and people did. But it isn't actually something that you could buy, so they just changed it in this version to be 12 million credits, which you can't really get. I don't think I have anything that I can sell, and so I don't think I have
We
anything.
appreciate your intentions, but you have nothing we wish to buy. You need credits to purchase our trade items. To earn credits, you must sell us the items we desire, which are biological data.
Yep.
It has
Well, I
been
guess I need
a
to,
pleasure dealing with you, Captain.
Find some life
We
forms
look
or rainbow
forward
worlds.
to your next visit.
So far, I haven't found any planets with life on them. So let's see. Down here's the Jiklus constellation, which I have enough fuel to get to and get back, I think. So I could investigate that lead. I think that's what I'll do. I'll kind of hit these two stars on the way down and then head to the Jiklus constellation. I can remember to set my autopilot so that I can actually... get there. Only one planet here. Halide world. Looks relatively safe, doesn't have a whole lot of well, looks like those some of that might be radioactives. It's also a low fuel cost to land planet, so let's do this. Astatine. 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 I'm just gonna grab the radioactives and then fill up with whatever is left here. And iodine. My cargo is actually getting pretty close to full, so I'll need to head back to the starbase anyway. Before I can gather much more mineral wealth stuff. I'll need to gather a lot less resources once I have my ship going at full speed, because I probably don't particularly care about resources after that, except for except to pay for fuel. You can go do more interesting things. Got a purple world with nothing much. Try the next one in here. Beta Centauri. Beta Centauri. I'm not sure if that's a planet, a regular planet, or a gas giant. That's a gas giant, but maybe some of these moons are interesting. Radioactive world? Well, that's interesting. Some tectonic activity, but not bad. High fuel cost to land, so this might actually eat into my ability to explore into Jigglis without making a trip back. Yeah, I'm just gonna fill up each time instead of trying to maximize my planet's available stuff. Actinum, francium, thorium. Medium or something. Last couple. Might be full, or might be able to take one more. Yep. Good enough. Since the fuel cost to land there is kind of high, isn't really worth... I mean, you want to make the minimum number of trips you can. If it wasn't something... it wasn't radioactives or something valuable like that down there, it probably wouldn't have been worth collecting at all. But radioactives are good. Acid world. That doesn't look like it's worth much. Nope. Nothing good there either. Still haven't found anything on the bioscanners of anywhere that we've been. I don't know if I'm just unlucky or just haven't been finding the correct kinds of things. This doesn't look good. Urea world. Oh, biological. Now there's life here, but also class 6 tectonics and class 3 weather, and that seems really too extreme for me. to be trying to get critters and deal with all of that. Metal world. I was hoping it was a radioactive world, but no, it's a metal world. And it's got kind of nasty weather. Fuel use landing isn't great. We're just gonna skip this one too. So we'll press on towards Chickless now. Stop at this big-ish star first. Zeta Centauri, hoping for some life forms here. Vinylogous world? I don't know what that would be, but just has metal on it. I assume that doesn't mean it's a planet made of vinyl, because I don't think vinyl is a metal. Selenic world. Presumably full of selenium. I could gather some stuff here, but since my ship is almost full, I think I'll hold off for something that looks more valuable. In fact, I should probably just head back after this system and then go down to Jiggles. Even with the extra fuel cost of the round trip, I can't actually do any mining while I'm down there, as it stands now, so... Not without dumping some of my existing cargo. Azure World. It's blue. Okay, this one has kind of bad tectonics, but the weather is okay. And we got life forms. And the fuel use isn't too bad either, so let's go for it. And I hope spacebar is the button to press for... It's not spacebar. It's enter. Glad these things are slow, whatever they are. Weird chandelier eyeball things. I guess they're not the only thing here. Come on, stunner, do your stun. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ow. I took out half of my lander complement. And I'm still not got any of these down. Still got one. Got two. Got... Oh, get out of there. Okay, almost there. I'm actually losing crew pretty badly, though. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That thing. Okay. Okay, I'm actually real low on crew now, so I probably need to leave soon anyway and get back to Earth. It's the ultramarine world. Gonna skip that one. Kind of severe weather, and I'm like kind of at my last on my last legs before I resupply here. Pellucid world. This one, it's got exotics on it. May as well. Mild tectonic activity. 9 zoocrystals. I'll take those. Absolutely. boring. Boring planet. Zeta Centauri 4. Boringville. One more planet here to look at, and then we will briefly head back to Earth for some upgrades and refuel and refit. Recrew. Magma World. Tectonics Class 8. I will not be landing here. Star map. We will head back this way. Unless I want to stop, because I did just pick up some biological data. Maybe I should stop here and trade first. Is it Jiggles? Constellation. Gather biodata for trade with Melnorme. Speaking of Melnorme, see if we can catch them. Not sure where they're headed. Not sure if they're sure where they're headed either.
How nice to see you again, Captain. Now, what can we do for you today?
I have some items I would like to sell. Let's see what we can get out of this.
Captain?
I have some data on alien life forms.
The 15 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 100 credits.
Okay.
What trade items would you like to buy today?
I am definitely interested in purchasing new technology.
Investment. Ah, yes. You are so right. These technological breakthroughs don't cost you credit. They earn you credit. Of course, there is an initial charge, but each technological system item is guaranteed to be useful for something important somewhere in the galaxy at some point in the future. All technologies
we don't have
cost
enough.
150 credits. The technology we are now offering includes plans for building blaster weapons, twice as powerful as your ion bolt guns.
And I don't think I care about that either.
What else would you like to buy?
But I probably have to get it to get the technology that might be more interesting. See how much fuel
As
costs.
you know, we carry a large supply of fuel on board, which is compatible with your engine system. We will be happy to sell this substance to you at a cost of 1 credit per fuel unit.
That's cheap.
How much fuel do you wish to purchase?
I'm just gonna fill up, I guess. Because that's way, it seems... I mean, I do want to buy technology probably, but...
Fuel transferred
I'll just refuel with this.
to your vessel.
Now what does information cost?
As you know, in our many centuries of star trading, we Melnorme have come to learn much about what happens in our galaxy, both now and in the ancient past. We have also kept records on the diverse alien races in your region of space. We will share this crucial knowledge with you for a fee of 75 credits per informative fact. No refunds.
I was hoping for more like 50, but... Oh, and you get to choose if it's current events, alien races, or historical information. That's interesting.
What else would you like to buy?
I shall be leaving now.
It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
Fix my glasses, fix my hair, which keeps going in front of my face. Okay. Now I'm refueled, so I could just head down to Chickless, except that I have very little crew. Well, actually, that's not true, because my Spot the Eluder and Earthling Cruiser are both full of crew, so I actually have a fair amount more crew than it shows in that indicator if I transferred them over. So yeah, let's head, I'm all refueled. Head down to Chickless. Oh, except that my cargo is also about full. So I still probably want to return, unload my cargo, get more thrusters, so I can go faster. Yeah, for 5 fuel, there and back, so 10 net fuel. And I'll check out a different star on my way back across. Earth. Slowly coming to Earth. Well, the Earth orbiting space station anyway.
Greetings, Captain. I'm ready to assist you. By the way, I thought you should know, we are being bathed in a broad beam hyperwave transmission from the direction of the Rigel star system. Due to the broadcast wide dispersion, we cannot discern its content.
See, so we're getting a wide beam signal from Rigel. 700, 1,000, 3,000, 10,000
Excellent
resource
work,
units.
Captain.
So that's way more than
Try to avoid getting gruesomely killed, Captain.
way more than I'd collected so far, I think, total. In my initial harvesting of the solar system, so we should be able to get some nice upgrades. But first, let's refill our crew. Come on. Fill our crew. Then refill our fuel, because almost it was almost full anyway. And we will max out our thrusters and our turning jets. So now we've got speed and maneuverability. Add another storage bay or two. Another fuel tank. Carry more fuel. Maybe a couple of fuel tanks. And one more crew pod, which we probably won't fill up. But yeah, now we got lots and lots of stuff. We may not have much for combat, but our ship is good to go for exploring, I would say now. We need to fill up on fuel and crew, and maybe not fill up all the way on fuel and crew, because I don't quite have enough to do that, but okay, crew is full. And we'll just spend the rest on fuel. Save. And then head down to that Chickless constellation and see what's supposed to be there. Woo, I can turn really fast now. Whee! Hope nobody gets motion sick on this ship. Okay. Really though, let's go. Let's actually hit this star right on the edge of Ilwrath space, because I'm pretty sure I can get around any Ilwrath that come after me now. And if not, I just saved, so it's fine. I do want to have some amount of resources as a buffer for refueling and... Ooh, treasure world. I like the sound of that. Weather and temperature are fine, it's just got some fairly mild tectonic activity. Whee! 17 gold, 13 palladium, 16 palladium. Oh, it is expensive to land on, so I'll probably only land this one more time and pick up these larger deposits. It's 1.4 fuel units per landing. Whoa! That's close. Yeah, that'll be good. 2 full lander loads of rare metals, I think, is what those are listed as. Oh, those are Ilwrath ships. I do need to avoid those. Or I do want to avoid those anyway. Oh, maybe it'd be fun to talk to him. Redux world. Bad tectonics. No life forms. Don't care. Don't care about that one. Let's try this blue one. Noble world, those are not worth a whole lot. But this takes almost no fuel to land on, so I'm going to scoop these up. A lot more cargo space now anyway, and after I visit Jickless, I'm probably just going to head back to Seoul, because that's the only thing kind of in that direction worth investigating, I think. Unless I want to swing up through Ilwrath space, but it doesn't sound very fun to me. The only reason that one Ilwrath was so easy was because it was undercrewed and it had and its cloaking device was malfunctioning. I don't really want to deal with a fully crewed Ilwrath ship with a functioning cloaking device. Or possibly multiple fully crewed Ilwrath ships with functioning cloaking devices, because each one of these ships could have more than one actual ship. Cyanic world. Nothing interesting there either. Well, this star system seemed to be not worth going to. Yikes! Ah, he caught me.
What? Can I believe my sensory cluster? I sense humans. I dance with joy for our good fortune. The human dies with such agony that it cannot help but please Dogar and Kazan.
I have lots of choices. We take pity upon you, weakling Ilwrath. Go now, before we change our minds.
Ha! Foolish flesh sack. Your obsession with strength spells your doom. Only through enlightenment, achieved with diligent ritual worship of the twins of darkness, can a being truly be victorious. Death, no matter what the source, feeds the wicked pair. It is an ultimate honor and victory to die for this purpose. We know in the end only the truly devout will reap the reward that Dogar and Kazan dispense.
So I can try fighting 4 of these ships with Fwiffo, or with my flagship. None of those... I'm just gonna take my flagship out and I can press escape to warp out of this battle with my flagship. If I did it with a different ship, it would just, yeah, I'm not getting any hits. Oh, I can actually see the Ilwrath ship when it passes in front of stars, though. Ah! That was very, very damaging. Bye! Ow! That was very damaging, too. Well, that cost me 41 crew. Well, visiting that star system was definitely not worth it. Let's get out of Ilwrath territory here. And then head down to the Jickless constellation. Up this star, it's on the edge. Epsilon Jickless. Oolite world. I don't know what an Oolite world is. It's got kind of bad weather and tectonics, but also a lot of valuable stuff on it. And it could be, those numbers could be a lot higher, so I'm gonna try landing, grabbing some of this. Need 120 resource units to recrew my ship. Try this bigger star. Oh, here's a warmer one. Maybe there'll be life forms here. With all these green orbit lines. Magma world. I probably don't want to land here. No, this does not look promising at all. Until you go up and scan, you can't really tell the difference between a magma world, a radioactive world, and a ruby world, and anything else that's that color. That's a gas giant. That's a gas giant with some moons. That might be interesting. Let's see what we've got. Radioactive world. Well, well. And minus 7 degrees, and the biological scan shows life forms as well, so this will be worth checking out. Scoop up some radioactives. Stun whatever these weird blue slug things are. Come on. They are not worth much biodata. The biodata is the blue bar on the bottom right. Whoop, I'm full of radioactives. But it's more than worth landing here just for the radioactives alone, even with the high fuel cost of landing here. This is a lot of radioactives. Pew, pew. Pew, pew. Plus, since I think each one of these biodata things is actually 2 credits. But it worked out too, so even these things that are only worth 1 biodata are still worth 2 fuel units. So I'm getting enough out of this to pay for it. lots and lots of radioactives. It'd be nice if I had more capacity on my lander. But... Pew! Pew! Do-do-do. I'll go pew pew this last one over here and then come back to those remaining radioactives. Pew pew pew. There we go. And basically one full cargo pod worth of radioactives here. And then some that I'm not even going to pick up. Because it's iffy if it's worth going down for just that last node, or whatever it is. Alkali world. Tectonics are a little iffy, but more life forms. I like scanning for... Oh, fast life forms, though. Fast hostile life forms, though. So with those, I'm gonna have to apparently be accurate with my shots. Nope, this isn't going well. Nope. Are they faster than me? Yes. Okay, yeah, this isn't working. Those octopus things are too fast. If I could get them in 1 or 2 hits, maybe, but they take more than 2 hits, so I'm losing too much crew and spending too much fuel. Here we have another place with life forms, but class 7 tectonics, so also too dangerous. Did I visit this yet? I don't think so. I think I came up the right side of this system. Iodine world, again with the bad tectonics. But still life. This system is full of life. This also has bad weather. Bad weather and bad tectonics. And these more than those planets closer into the star are probably too hot. I'll check them too, but not until after I've checked these other ones. This one has kind of bad tectonics, but mostly just uninteresting. Not very valuable stuff, and no life forms. Let's check this purple looking planet. It's a very little purple looking planet. It is a pellucid world. Oh, which has some exotics on it. That's worth braving the high temperatures and bad weather for, probably. Got my Xo crystals. What next? But these more inner planets are probably too hot. Infrared world. Class 7 weather, even without the 1200 degree temperatures, that would be too scary. I'm not even going to check the innermost one. It might only tempt me. Well, I suppose I should at least scan it while I'm here. Nope, just a dust world. It's actually cooler than that further out planet was. And with somewhat less severe weather, but still way too severe. So we're in the Jickless constellation. There should be something around here somewhere. Although there is a blip moving towards us in hyperspace. Not moving very fast. We'll definitely, if I don't find something else to encounter before then, we'll encounter that before I end the stream. Yeah, fuel use 1.9. It's iffy whether this is even worth doing with taking nearly 2 units of fuel, but there are some radioactives here. Yeah, I guess that about pays for the fuel, and then I'm gonna scoop up these other metals. Probably worth it. Unless I was on a really extended trip or something. Did I look at this one already? I don't think I did. Ultramarine world. This one's got bad weather. Nope. Whoopsie. Come back. Go back. Here we are. Xenolithic world. Yeah, that's got some stuff that's probably worth picking up. Rare metals. Platinum! More platinum. More platinum. Little aluminum and more platinum. And more aluminum. Platinum's good. Aluminum's okay. Usually the standard metals I consider kind of baseline, sort of worth getting. Worth landing for a full hold with those, maybe, if the fuel cost isn't too high. Ooh, tectonics back here is kind of bad. But not if there's any amount of danger like there with the Class 5 tectonics. Copper world. I bet it's full of copper. Don't need copper that bad. There are two more plants here to check. We have an opalescent world. That sounds cool. Tectonic activity here is a little high, but we got... I forget what the green ones represent, but I think the green ones are worth more than the gray ones. Samarium. Gadolinium. Samarium. The dark blue are noble gases, which aren't worth a whole lot, but they're worth slightly less than the standard metals. Huh. That was only half a load worth of stuff, and the other stuff isn't really even worth putting in my cargo, those tiny deposits. If I took more than one casualty getting them, I'd be at a loss trying to get a hold of them, so... Now where's this last planet? For some reason I'm not seeing the planet in the outermost orbit ring. Oh, there it is. Sometimes the planets at the furthest out zoom level blend in with the star background. Oh, another opalescent world. This one with kind of bad tectonics. And looked also like fairly small deposits. So let's scoot. Guess I'll wait here and see what this is. Oh good, something different than the Ilwrath.
Welcome
Welcome to our home stars. We are the Pkunk. Pkunk we are. Seekers of the deepest truths. Askers of interesting and significant questions. Even now, a question of great transcendental significance comes up into our minds. Who are you and what do you want?
We are friendly beings who seek to establish friendly relations with your spirits. Hey, Bird Brains, got any Fruit Loops? Har har har. We are seekers of truth and lightness. Let's go with we are friendly beings who seek to establish friendly relations with your species.
Although we Pkunk have no rank, no pecking order, no arbitrary scheme of dominance, we do recognize that some of the souls in this universe have lived many lives, while others are but spiritual chickadees. I, Captain, have lived 38 lives, a paltry number compared to those wise and ancient souls who guide our race. You must consult them, Captain. They will help you to understand yourself, and in doing so, understand others, who in turn may or may not understand other things. Seek those wise birds at our homeworld, at Gamma Kruger 1. They have all the answers.
Kruger 1. Pkunk. We are dedicated to fighting the Ur-Quan hierarchy. Can you help us?
See the wise ones at our homeworld, Captain. Go to Gamma Kruger for your answers.
We are seekers of truth and lightness.
Ah, vague omens and mysterious portents, tangled webs of fate, intertwined with the branches of destiny, blown by the capricious winds of happenstance. News, actually there is some news. It just so happens that it has come to our attention that Joga and Kazon, the two gods of the Ilwrath, may actually be a hoax. We don't know who this hoax would have been perpetrated by, but it seems someone has used these fictitious gods to send the Ilwrath down on us.
Duty calls. I must go now.
Yes, by all means, if duty is calling. I am sure we'll see each other again. Perhaps when the stars are aligned in an appropriate configuration. Yes, my inner voice is telling me that is correct. When the stars align, Captain.
Alright, so I want to find Gamma Kruger 1. Looking at the middle, Beta Kruger. Gamma Kruger, and I will have to move into Ilwrath's sphere of influence for that. I have to avoid any blobs that appear from that direction. Ooh, look at all these Pkunk ships. Lots of fleets. Whee! Almost made it to the planet before one of them got me.
Do not be frightened. We are powerful creatures, yes, but we could not hurt you any more than we could squish the helpless pootworm.
Pootworm.
We love the pootworm. We are one with the pootworm. We are one with you. Of course you realize this means you are one with the pootworm. Rejoice! To be one with the pootworm is to be alive! And why not be alive? Is that not what living is for?
Guess I'll ask them for more info.
We are quite sure now that Dugal and Kazon are a hoax. Aside from never having seen them on the fourth astral plane where most gods like to hang out, we also recently went back and listened carefully to a recording of one of their broadcasts which was sent to the Ilwrath on Hyperwave Channel 44. We were able to detect some digging at the end of the message. Someone out there is playing some kind of joke on the Ilwrath. Or is it a joke on us?
Both, probably.
We're not quite sure. But what with all the vaporized planets and total carnage, it may be a while before we can look back and fully appreciate the humor. Although we do...
Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm almost
Yes,
there.
by all means, if you that's when the... Yes.
Almost to Gamma Kruger 1. I like their swallowing animation. See if I can slip in between their ships here. Nope. Have to talk to him again. Then I can get to the planet.
Greetings and various apropos felicitations. We are Pkunk, hatchlings of light, spiritual soul beings of the vast cosmic oneness, wayfarers on the river of destiny, students of the mystical dimensions, purveyors of blissful love, bird-like manifestations of glorious light energies from the astral plane. How about yourself? Yes, we have good news. Well, that is to say, we have no news, but it is good news. That is your expression, human captain. We Pkunk do not pretend to understand it. Yes, by all means, that's when the stuff... Yes.
Okay, now I just need to get to the planet, I think. I can chat with this extremely large number of Pkunk ships.
What? A spirit voice rings within my soul. It tells me that I must give you something. Something to aid you on your noble quest.
Ooh.
What, spirit? What must we give this young human? Mineral resources? No. Important secret? No. Starship? No.
I'd like some of that.
Then what is it, spirit? Spit it out. What? That thing? Are you sure? Okay, here you go, Captain. Take this clear spindle. It is an ancient and powerful device built by the precursors hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Got an artifact?
What does it do, you ask? I haven't the slightest idea. Auspicious portents and serendipitous omens have foretold your arrival. Welcome, alien guests, to the home of the gentle and playful Pkunk, children of the cosmic light, hobgoblins of joy, seekers of spiritual truth, and other neat stuff like that.
Avast, delinquent alien birds, you are now being conquered. Submit? No, I don't think so. Perhaps we should introduce ourselves. I'm Captain Zelmick of the Star of the Vindicator. Suddenly find myself very curious about your species. Would I mind if I ask you a few things about the Ilwrath? I should probably introduce myself first.
Yes, we know all that. We are not known throughout the galactic sector as powerful psychics for nothing. Of course, we already know the answer to this next question too, but we enjoy conversation. Why have you come here?
I have come to ask you for your help in the fight against the Ur-Quan. Or, we are on a 5-year mission to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where, well, you get the idea. We're kind of exploring. No reason. We thought we'd take this baby out for a little cruise and would look at where we ended up. We've come to your homeworld to offer you aid and assistance. This vessel and its crew are at your service. Well, that's not really true because we don't have much capability along those lines. Yeah, we've come to ask for your help in the fight against the Ur-Quan.
The fight, always the fight. We Pkunk are yin and you are yang. I suppose the problem is that the Ur-Quan are a little more yang than you are. Well, be that as it may, we are sympathetic to your concerns. We were not always the mystical, aloof, and yet caring, enlightened beings that we are now. If need be, we can still kick some serious butt. Let us unite and form an alliance. We will provide you with all of the crew, ships, and resources you desire. We will give you... Wait! I sense that you are offended by our crass material offer.
I'm not offended.
I am ashamed. Any warmongering species could offer this. We are the Pkunk, children of the stellar breeze. We shall give you what all others could not. The greatest of gifts. We shall give you our love. Ah, you are speechless. Do not talk now. I can feel the energy connecting us. Let us part while the silence remains. Farewell. But wait, before we go, as a small token of our love, not as a material gift, mind you, we give you 4 of our meager ships, fully crewed.
Okay.
Good luck.
I'll take that. That's okay.
Whoop-de-dee and Charlie-bazoo! What a good day I am having! First, My nestmate surprises me with extra fat and spicy grubs for early meals. Then I am complimented on my fine display of ceremonial tongues. To top it off, I encounter the human friend, loved by all Pkunk. Can things get any better?
What's news? I seem to be having a little trouble defeating the Ur-Quan hierarchy. I've always wanted my fortune told. Would you mind? Well, let's try that.
Not at all. You are an open book to me. Ah, how quaint your little life is. So refreshing. Anyway, I see in your future that you will be jumping across the galaxy through dimensional doorways which are at your beck and call. This ability you shall receive from a mysterious and yet somehow I sense lovable alien race called the Arilu Lalile, or Lalilu Arile, or Lopilu Happy Day, or something like that. Also, I sense that you will have 14 children and die at an early age.
How do you have 4? Well, that seems hard, but I guess doable. What's news?
Ah, vague omens and mysterious portents, tangled webs of fate, intertwined with the branches of destiny, blown by the capricious winds of happenstance. News, actually there is some news. It just so happens that it has
looks
come
like
to our
I've already
attention
heard this news.
that Doga and Kazon, the two...
I seem to be having little trouble defeating the Ur-Quan hierarchy.
Well, not advice exactly, but I can offer you plenty of moral support. Also, I can tell you about another dream. Yes, perhaps I will tell you about my dream. In this dream, there was a small creature, fragile and weak. Above it loomed a much larger creature, dark and foreboding. The large creature was preparing to take the smaller one into its slavering jaws, when the little one looked up and said, "Lord, why do you do this? What you are doing is wrong." This made the large creature pause, while it pondered the question.
That's actually
The little
super
woke up,
important.
And I'm not sure if the
I
little
didn't
creature
remember
was
that you
in
could
or
learn
not.
that from the Pkunk.
Come to think of it, it really wasn't much of a dream. I would have much preferred Occubirdie's dream. Anyway, just thought I would tell you about that.
Adios,
Goodbye,
Pkunkos.
Captain. When the crystal stairs once more rotate into harmonic union, we shall meet again.
Well, it's after 8 o'clock, so I should probably... Oops.
Captain, we've been
Into their
expecting
planet
you.
by accident.
In fact, you're here because we wished you to be here.
One more conversation.
By channeling our psychic energies through a trans-dimensional flux inducer, we were able to affect the low-frequency stream of a soul particle such as yourself and direct its course. The only thing is, we can't remember why we brought you here.
Suddenly I find myself very curious about your species.
Not at all. We are, after all, a fascinating species. Of course, modesty prevents me from talking at length, although perhaps if you were to ask me specific questions, propriety might be better served.
What can you tell us of the history of the Pkunk?
Ah, an intelligent question. But where to begin? Surely you know that we Pkunk were once one and the same species as the Yehat. Yes, it's true. We were once brutal birds of prey, oblivious to the mysteries of crystal magic or the 7 dimensions of psychic beings. It was not until Winky Winky Binky Birdie sat on the mystical egg of ice-like temperature and gave the original squawk, "Rup, rup, rup, that our transformation began. It was the squawk, "Rup, rup, rup, that triggered the harmonic oscillations that would lead us to become the enlightened aliens that we are."
What about the Yehat? Are you friendly with them?
That depends on how you define friendly. We love our Yehat brethren, whereas they open fire on our vessels on sight. Fortunately, our psychic abilities allow us to sense the deep, abiding love, and yes, even shyness in our Yehat brothers and sisters. How we must have hurt them when we left so long ago. Soon, though, it will be time for the loving reunion, as our destiny is fulfilled, and we are once again reunited as one people.
What interesting things can you tell us about your culture?
Just off the top of my beak, I suppose I would say that our culture could be defined as the ultimate unification, or oneness, if you will, of the extra-dimensional convergent chakra being energies to form a togetherness self, which both is and is not a culmination of the now essence.
Do you refer to the now essence as an extension of the cosmic whole, or as a subset of the totality of oneness?
An excellent question. The answer is in itself an answer containing the explanation you seek, and more. Let me say, the revelation includes the mysteries of pyramid power, which is merely a subset of the greater and more general pointy power. UFOs and FOs are significant, but their role should not be overplayed. I'm sorry, but I can be no more specific than that.
Is it true that you can really see into the future?
Yes, it's wait! A vision comes upon me. A shining light. A crack in the egg. A swirling vortex. A tunnel. I see my past lives. Your past lives. More shining light. Ah, there it is now, the future. It's coming in clearer. Yes, I see tears. Tears of joy! They are coming from our yay-hot brothers and sisters, who welcome us back to the nest, wings outstretched, beaks stuffed with grub. Soon we shall return. Soon.
I think this return thing will go well for them. I'd love to hear more about your culture, but oh, would you look at the time? Bye.
Yes, you are right. I should be careful not to overwhelm you with my psychic intensities. Perhaps we could talk about something less overwhelming, albeit less interesting.
So I'll ask them about the Ilwrath, and then I'll be done with the
Why
whole
should we mind? We bear the spidery creatures no ill will. Without darkness, there is no light. Without death, there is no birth. And thanks to the Ur-Rat, there's lots of birth.
Is it just my impression, but they seem rather hostile? Why is that?
We have delved most deeply into the dark and greasy heart of the Ilwrath. And what do you suppose we found there? Well, we found a torpid, vile, malign, odious, spiteful spirit. Right, no surprises there. What did surprise us, though, was what we saw when we regressed into the past lives. It turns out that in their last lives, the Ilwrath were all shining beings of pure light and blissful love. They had reached the pinnacle of spiritual evolution and could go no further. They were perfection. And then, somehow, they got just a tiny bit better, and wham! They were all of a sudden totally evil. Wouldn't you know it? Get too perfect and you wrap right around to evil. That's why we Pkunk strive to be perfect, but always do little bad and annoying things to keep from ending up like the Ilwrath.
When was it that they started attacking them?
Well, that's easy. It was exactly 27,000 rotations of the 7th planet in the House of Party Fun. Before the first alignment of the auspicious constellation of Bit with the heavenly body of Shamlasul, which was really only a partial alignment. I guess you would say 8 years ago.
How are you faring in the fight against them?
We have calculated that at our present rate of attrition, we will exist only on the spiritual plane in a matter of a year or so. Of course, the physical realm does hold a certain coarse attraction, a material quaintness, if you will. We will be somewhat disappointed to have to leave it.
Is there any way to stop the Ilwrath?
An interesting question. The answer would be yes. If some benign and loving, yet incredibly destructive and powerful force were to simultaneously rip off all of their legs and drop their putrid egg sacs into steaming pools of molten metal, that would have the desired result of ending the conflict. But I jest. Of course, I bear the Ilwrath no ill will. How could I? when I'm filled only with love.
Let's talk about something
Yes,
else.
you're right. Why dwell on the heinous Ilwrath when we could speak of flowers, rainbows, fairies, and crystal magic? Did you know, for example, that there is an invisible fairy spirit at this moment sitting on your head and making humorous faces at me? Ah, the mysteries of the universe. Try to understand them, but can you? No, they're mysteries.
Goodbye, guys. See you later.
Well, kind human. Return soon.
Okay, let's save. Save game. And that should do it for my stream today. Looks like my, okay, I can still talk. That's good. So, guess Thursday is probably going to be a Net Trek day, and then we'll do more Star Control 2 on Saturday. In the meantime, I'm gonna raid Steamed Hams if he's still streaming, which I think he is. Who I think is playing some Mega Mans. So, good night, and have a good week.